do anything about it. It's crazy weather. I had this plan. I have an umbrella. How do I do this? I lose reception if I go inside. Okay, the technology, like how it works on you with the streams, it's so easy to make some kind of mistake. How do I do this now? The plan was to go out in the rain, find some cool shelter somewhere. And we'll see. This time is not the best time for me to stream either. We're gonna have a more official stream. Yo, Tom, we're gonna have I'm gonna schedule like an actual scheduled stream for tomorrow. And yeah, we'll just see how this goes in the rain. Det är lugnt alltså. So yeah, little kids showing up here in the rain. Yeah. Wow. You know, I wanted to do it. I wanted to stream before it started raining. I'm not the guy that likes to be like, you know, oh no, it's raining, so I can't do it. Or I guess I'll be inside then. No. But I want to find shelter and sit down and not have this shake so much. Much love from Ireland. Would you say we're an endomorph, mesomorph, or ectomorph body type? Where? What do you mean with where? I have no idea what your body type is. I mean, endomorph and ecto. Which one? Endo, I guess, is the fat one. Yeah, you meant you were. If I have to categorize it like that, I guess at this point ectomorph, because I get lean. So like I make fun of, you know, I joke about accidentally getting too lean. On like, oh, don't you hate it when you go on vacation and accidentally get super ripped? Really, it's funny. Like it was right before I started streaming. I started streaming by mistake now, a few minutes early too. But like it was a little bit of rain. Now there's a big amount. And I made all this talk that I'm gonna go do it anyway. I'm just trying to think before, so I have maybe a place to head, like a destination, you know. Well, yeah, guys. Oh, some people are dropping in. Please like and talk to me. Right now my hands are full, so I can't open the chat for a little bit. But tomorrow we're gonna have a more official scene. Love the interview with your brother. Oh, hey, August. Nej. Säg hej.
Hej.
Så det här är August.
Ja, hej.
Det var en som sa att han gillade, du vet, vår podcast vi gjorde tillsammans.
Ja.
Så jag bara, nu när du råkar gå förbi, jag bara säger hej. Have some troll in the chat. But yeah, that's great that you know, it was funny the timing there that he showed up right here. But yeah, I'm saying maybe I actually have to pussy out of this. I mean, I like being outside. Is there somewhere real close I can go? Like, I was gonna go to a playground, actually, where I'm pretty sure that I can find this little, like, you know, a little house, like a little. It was beautiful to see your communication with him. You're a good bro. Well, I appreciate it, man. You know, I realized look into, you know, think of things in a sense of alchemy. I realized that my upbringing has really been like a school in becoming a really good, understanding and patient, helpful, and so on, big brother, right? There's a kind of literally, you know, not literally, of course, but that's kind of what I am professionally. Here to many people on YouTube and to clients. But okay, I guess I'll just go for it a little bit and see. You can hear that, yeah, there is some rain going on. It's actually okay to walk like this for now. We're gonna find shelter, put down the camera so it's not all this shaking going on. And yeah, and we'll shoot the shit for a bit. I'm just saying, because now I'm in such a good mode. And I can often, even though I do stuff all the time here, I can often find a few hours. Do you like carrying women's handbags and umbrellas? Well, bro, this is the shittiest trolling I've seen in a long time. I'm just gonna ban you if you keep being like this boring Okay. No, but tomorrow, like, I can often get in, like, find the moment to stream, and I really want to right now, because I'm very able to. But tomorrow we're gonna have a more official stream. I'm gonna schedule one. It's gonna be like 4 p.m. Swedish time, probably. Hey. Yeah, so then I'm gonna be around for like 2-3 hours. This one, we'll see. It depends on how it goes. Well, with the rain, with people showing up. Like the stream if you haven't, guys. And right now I can't bring up the chat manually. The torture room, is that? Homie Ara farming in the rain. Yeah, exactly. Someone that I didn't see the name of said, what do you think about the Islamic takeover of Sweden? I think that's a ridiculous framing. You know, to be clear, I was super, like, you know, right-wing or whatever. Very upset and worried about immigration, and there are lots of problems with it. But the Islamic takeover, like, you've been fallen victim to, you know, mind control, or what I should call it, you know. Islamic takeover. There's a bunch of Muslims coming here. Islamic takeover. That's like your framing. That's a framing of a scared person, you know. So that's what I think about that. But of course, like, it's ridiculous to get it forced on you like that. We have to be so tolerant and accepting. And always racist that you don't want, you know, get so many Muslims here and have to accommodate them with a bunch of different things. It's just like, man, don't look at it that way. Don't play it. You've lost. You've already lost. If that's the way you look at it. Okay. It's funny. You know, this is a mindset thing too, guys. It's like, oh no, I was gonna stream in the nice weather, and suddenly there's this rain, thunderstorm. It's like, that's cool, a challenge. It turned out differently than I thought. Yeah, here is the playground. There is a little train, a little play train. I can go inside. Anas, we are all humans. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, but it's just, you know, about the immigration thing, it's just the way the system is designed. It kind of attracts a lot of, like, the worst people too, that would abuse some of the things that you can abuse in Sweden. But you know, there's a lot of immigrants, like Muslim types, that I get along with also. So you know, that's the thing. That's always the danger, you know, this divide and conquer tactics. It's like, oh no, it's supposed to be, oh, the Swedes against the Muslims. Like, I don't want to buy into that framing. No, it's the evil people at the top. They're pitting us, you know, they're putting us in a weird position. And they want us to be enemies so we don't see the real enemy. That's what I mean, you're a puppet. You know, I don't mean it to put you down either, but you're a puppet if you actually, okay, there's not it's not good shelter in that little train here. Like, it's all wet inside. I can't really sit in there. You know, I feel like one time I found this, like, huge tree. Right? There's so many how do you say, the branches. That it makes for a good shelter. Like, if you haven't, guys, and please keep giving me some material, some questions and stuff. I just cannot manually bring up the questions right now in the rain. I was at this marketplace. It's funny, just an hour ago it was super sunny. The weather is kind of like that where I'm at now, this island. It can go from being super sunny to thunderstorm back to sunny, right? No, but I bought all these cheap, just funny clothes, right? Where do we go? This plan A. Oh, can you hear the thunder? I can. Yeah. Where's the next option? I mean, I could go inside, but that just seems a little... immigrants should try to assimilate. And look, of course, but that's what the reasonable immigrants already do, you know. Like, not trying to change the culture. Yeah, there are gonna be bad apples everywhere, you know. I see other stuff, just laugh a little bit. But you know, you say that's the issue. Like, yeah, it is an issue with the people that don't assimilate. But you know, that's kind of the thing. It's a big political thing. We're trying to make you like you're evil if you think that people should assimilate, while every reasonable person knows that that's what you do. If you're a guest, or you know, if you want to be received well in someone else's home, you should, like, if you keep your stuff at home, sure, but you should assimilate, if you will. Like, yeah, I don't go to other people's houses and be like, well, I wear shoes inside, so I'll just step all over your floor with my wet shoes, because that's how I do it at my place. But this is the thing, like, don't fall into this trap, okay, of like, they should do this and they should do that. Like, you know, they are not, they aren't a homogeneous group, right? Is that how you say it? Yeah, homogeneous, exactly. And look, I'm saying all of this to you as someone that's not like this gay, pro-pride, all open borders stuff. Like, I've been the complete opposite person. That's why I'm warning you to look at this with your own eyes, not the narratives you've been handed, whether that's from the mainstream or the counter-reaction. That's all part of the game, guys, always. Pit men against women, immigrants against Swedes in this case, and so on. The Dakota log said, sounds like where I live in New England. We have a saying, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute. Ooh, is that, I see a building that just looks perfect if I can get inside. Probably I'm not allowed there, but, oops. Thanks for slowing down, shithead. But I didn't get so wet from that, but he really did not try to not do that. You know, everyone triggered by me. You people are, you know, when people are anonymous online, people are kind of the same in cars, you know, especially Swedes are so afraid of conflict, super aggressive in their cars. Like, not like Greek drivers or like Mediterranean drivers or whatever, but that kind of way, you know. I won't slow down. Nah, I'm driving here. I once got splashed from a bus. Yeah, it wasn't so bad. Okay, no, I probably can't go there. I mean, it's kind of cozy. But the thing is, I'd like to be able to put down the camera, not have to use, say, an umbrella. And sorry, I see that you said some things, but that's the thing, I can't bring up the chat manually right now. I think someone asked what I think about science-based lifters as opposed to Eric Bugenhagen types. Well, I'm more of the Eric Bugenhagen type, and it's again such a fucking stupid, low IQ, you know, battle. And I'm not your question, to be clear, but you're always both, you know, you're always both. The thing is, when I got into training, I looked into more science-based content. Then when you learn for yourself through your experience what works, a lot of that will align, of course, with the science. But the thing with being hyper-science focused is this, that it becomes one-dimensional. Since Coach Fast Lift, since he said it, I think it's a good way to describe it, that they isolate variables way too much, because it's always in a larger context. Like someone like me that does a lot of uncommon things, a lot of uncommon combinations with fasting and training and so on. Like, the way fasting works for me, for instance, it's not the same as just some random fucking people trying something in a study, right? It's the same thing with lifters. And even the trained lifters in studies, is like they are still noobs, almost always. It's not a bunch of elite naturals they test things on. And so, you see what I mean? That having that as a starting point, like, okay, these are the kind of principles I'll follow. Great, but then it should be more individual. Just horsecock some heavy weights. as Eric Mugenhagen would say. Where the fuck do I go though? I guess I just have to head back. Fasting is good for body, yes or no? I mean, what do you think, man? I do a ton of fasting. I've tons, that's like a big thing for me. I mean, maybe you're new to the channel, but you know, go watch my videos where I instruct you how to do it. Do you think I would do that if I thought it was bad for the body? But it's always contextual. Like one guy that was on the stream yesterday, I won't say the name, but I've had consultations with him, and he is like anorexic and fasts way too much. Even if that's more unusual, like obviously it's not good to starve your body. Have you tried slowing? What do you mean by that? No, but fasting is great, but it's like with everything, it depends on the context. I do it extremely planned in a very controlled forms. I know exactly what I'm doing. I take enough times. I try slowing as opposed to fasting. I don't know, what is that? What is it? Yeah, but you see, I do it super planned out, and I take enough days between slowing, fasting. Oh, that's funny. But what would it mean practically? To just binge completely? Yeah, that's hilarious, man. Great one. No, but if I finish that thought, I know that if I fast too much, I will get like tired and stuff, you know, like actual metabolic slowdown and shit. So I take enough days between fasts to eat, to let my body recover before I would do another fast. But someone that doesn't know what they're doing, or like is anorexic, of course it's not good to literally starve your body. Like you barely have body fat and you think you're gonna fast for days. Where do we go though? Yeah, I got what I wished for, right? Oh, a bit of a challenge on the stream. But I gotta say, you know, because I move around, there are some people showing up. I gotta say that being under an umbrella with sunglasses and a little camera live stream, it really gives you your own space. You know, I feel like I have my own little portable studio in the rain here. But okay, I guess I really don't have any choice. You know, you see these places, like there's a shelter there, but it's not the public one. I don't want to be that guy, you know. You know, people always think, not always and not everyone, but you know, everywhere people will want to project and say that I'm a narcissist and, you know, self-centered and stuff. Don't want to give people actual reasons to think that's like using their property for my stuff. I'm back by the house. The thing is, down in the basement, the reception isn't great. I guess I'll chill there for a bit, and the rain might, you know, slow down at some point. I'm gonna get to your questions, guys. Now, because now soon I'll get to a place where I can actually put the camera down. I guess I have no choice. I have to sit outside. The thing is, it's not perfect shelter this either. If you see, you know, you can see the words I don't say in English much, but you know, there's space between the wooden planks, I guess. If I could, you know, attach the umbrella. Anna, do you have a TikTok account where you post content on? There is like an at uncommonsensetheo. There was actually mainly another guy that posted some reels for me there a long time ago now, but I haven't really, you know, I'm a boomer in this regard. You know, I like my YouTube, I like my Instagram, I like the combination. If I could automate it, you know, because I do almost everything myself. That's why when some guy helped me out, to do it like that. Just thinking, what the fuck do I do, guys? I wouldn't mind if just I got wet, but of course I have the phone to think about also. Can I set this up somehow? You know, if I could, I just realized that this stick, this is a new selfie stick, and it's a tripod on it. Let's just do this. The rain slowed down a little bit now, but if I sit with the umbrella like this, okay. Now we have something going for us. Okay. Good morning from USA. LCD9, good morning. Rest the umbrella on your head like a Chad. Yeah, it was just a little difficult to keep it in place. Yes, I'm not the Chad. But, yeah guys, I'll say now, I'm gonna get to some questions. But tomorrow, 4 p.m. Swedish time, I'm gonna schedule it beforehand, not just go live randomly like this. So people actually have a chance to know about it beforehand. And then I will make sure also, like it's fun with especially the unplanned streams to just do something like, oh, see, thunderstorm stream, let's see what we do with that. Okay, I'm gonna have a better like space to sit in. Okay, so let's scroll up a bit. Such a boring troll in the chat also. Yeah. Yeah, science-based. What city are you in? I'm on Gotland. It's not a city, it's an island. It's dynamic, you would say, M28 said. Oh, you mean about the science-based lifters and compared to like bro. Yeah, well, the thing is, I would always side with the bro, because in the end, if you have the results, you are the science. Do you understand? You have done science that works. That's what people confuse what science actually is. What people often tend to see as science is like, see, this is what the study said, so I am scientific by saying that. But it's actually a method, you know. You're supposed to apply the scientific method in the gym. No one has done that more than Erik Wiegenhagen, right? So it's unfortunate. I'm obviously a fan of science, like doing actual research, but I don't know if it's caused more good than bad in the fitness industry. I think it was different at different points too. That it came and cleaned up some bullshit at some point, but now people just love having that spin on things. This is science-based workout, science-based this, science-based that. I want to know what you do, bro. What's your school of training? Don't tell me there's some fucking... You see what I mean? Like, I really have no use. Like, there could be... I cannot see any study coming out that revolutionizes my training from this point. Robert Wood, Theo, do you have any experience with neck training? I mean, it's like a big thing I'm known for also. I mean, again, I can't assume that everyone knows everything, but if you go through, search neck on this channel and you'll see, you know. Like the stream if you haven't, guys. So yeah, I have experience with it. If you want to ask something more specific about it, that's a different thing. Looks like a nice quiet area. It is. I live in a little village here. No more nuts. I've been binge eating. Yeah. Yeah, fasting is a great way. Fasting with properly planned refeeds on whole foods and stacking those. That's a great way to, like, you know, a person that problem, a person that has that problem shouldn't see the fast as being a success until you've gone through with a refeed day and ate a good amount of good food. You understand? Controlled. Stacking that fast of like around 72 hours with good refeeds, you know, you get less and less food addicted the more of those you can stack. Beautiful weather. Yo, Theo, beautiful weather. Hawaii. Yeah. It's calming. It's getting a little calmer now. My favorite tricep exercise. Well, there are many good ones. I like triceps. It's always been easier for me to train than biceps. But if I had to pick one, because it's been a staple for me, it's the lying C-bar extension. So if you pretend that I'm on my back now, not sitting. The French press has not, I don't connect as well with it. I feel like I get too much shoulder into it. But lying on a bench with like just this much of my head outside of the bench, I lean back a little bit like that. And you know, you get your elbows way back and you extend. And you might want to just a little bit let the elbow come forward as you extend, but not all the way into like a bench press position or something. That's been a favorite for the long head. Lately, the French press with the weights don't work out that well for me, but with cables, both unilateral, one side at a time with a rope or with a dual rope. Those are two I really like. I to say one more. That's like a different kind of triceps exercise. It's a V-bar pushdown. Okay, love a V-bar pushdown. Beam Rider 100. I get too grumpy when I don't eat in the morning, but fast the cardio, I can do that. Yeah, but people that say that, that's how you currently operate. You know, like to make it blatantly obvious to you. If I'm a drug addict, it's like, well, I get grumpy when I don't take my drugs in the morning. It's like, maybe if you get rid of the addiction, maybe if you change your habits, after a while, it wouldn't get so grumpy. No, we're not. I've been walking bush tracks with my 73-year-old father. Cool. And then he said MILF hunter and with the umbrella. Am I the MILF hunter? No, you know, it's one of the cringiest expressions I know. MILF. Mother I'd like to fuck. The only one you should call your MILF, call a MILF, is the mother of your children. Okay. Chasing older women, that's such a little boy thing, the mama's boy thing. You know, you have issues. Hello from New York City, Hennessy. Oh, well, hello. I don't know how to pronounce that. Tyson Bell. Eating my eggs this morning. Awesome. I did as well. First thing I did upon arriving to this island on the way from the ferry was to go buy a farm and buy 60 eggs. I'm gonna have to buy more. I ate 9 eggs today. And M28 said exactly my train of thought, I guess, about the science-based versus like bro. And you know, I'll make one point since it came up again. I was thinking there's one thing about bro science. Some people with bro science, they really mean like stupid bros. Because you hear guys tell each other things to do in the gym and it's like, where did you get that idea, bro? That's so stupid. But when you mean bro just as in experience-based, you know, that's what I mean. Because experience is all, it beats everything. Experience is king. Yeah, neck training. Yeah, ask anything specific about neck training. I'll talk about it. Archrock Encanto hit for the win. You know, I'd like to see one of these Mentzer bros show their insane physique they built with a hit. Because, you know, I like high intensity, but I think the frequency and volume of it is kind of stupid. I think many people, if you train hard enough, it's not like you, yeah, I've cut down on volume basically. I do 2 to 3 sets most of the time on certain exercises, like one top set. But to do it on everything and have like really low frequencies, just like why? It just seems like it must be leaving gains on the table for most people. Beam Rider. I bent over and put my head on a chair. What the fuck? What does that mean? Rogerwood, thanks. That's why I asked, because you have a huge neck. Well, appreciate that. No, I started training it. Now it's almost exactly 2 years ago. And I just did front and back. Three sets of each on neck. When I started now, I often do 2 or even 1 set. For the neck extensions, I could really get in all I need, working up to 1 top set. But if I'd go bulk, I would still up the volume to at least 2 sets. But yeah, just progressive overload, very simple on neck extensions and neck curls. in the 10 to 15 rep range most of the time, adding reps before you add weight. Let's see. LCD9. I've added stiff neck holds while I resist my hand on the sides in addition to weighted yes and no's. Okay, and do you feel like that's doing anything for you? Thanks on Bell. Day 12, no weed. First day back at the gym yesterday, following your solar night apprentice routine you made in that last video last year. Been a long time watcher. Well, that's awesome, man. And you say thanks for being fucking awesome, man. Can't wait to catch up to you in a few years. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it as well. And I see some people cheering you on too. Oh, but that's great to hear, man. You know, just stay on point, but also don't let a small back step. If you do some kind of off step now from this, like if you end up smoking weed on a day, or you miss a workout or something, you know, this is nuance. I'm not telling you that you should. Just miss it. Just go off it. But this is what most people fail to do, is that when they fall, they don't get back up. They just, not even just lie there. They're just like crawling backwards. If you fall, that's okay. Getting it back up is mandatory, okay? Nowhere else said, bro, you look like Brad Pitt. Yeah, I guess this is a little Brad Pitty with a shirt and, yeah. And the sunglasses. I should just be eating on something also. And the lower ab exercise that you created is the best ab exercise for me. And that's really cool. There's been quite a few people that told me that. And I've never really seen anyone else do that one. But, you know, I guess there's no scientific studies on it, so it's probably a stupid idea to do it. But I'm glad you like the exercise. It's cool. It's like a crunch that's really lower ab focused. Tyson Bell. I have that natural farm strength, ready to rip it up in the gym again. Had a good 3 months in January. I'm excited to motivate some of my friends with their bad habits. Yeah, lead by example, and also get prepared that some of them won't join you at all. I will even, in fact, try to pull you in the other direction. Because that's unfortunately how a lot of people do, even so-called friends. LCD9, the pain of the fast is the workout. Stomach day. Not quite understanding that. I have no problems with that when I fast. Hag chasers felted, yeah, for sure. I'll tell you exactly what I think about things like that. It's about the MILF comment I made. Beam Rider 100, have you peaked on singles then done back sets before? Yeah, peaked on them. It's like, I like to warm up sometimes by going up to a heavy single. Like if I were to do searcher squats, for instance, that's usually how I would do it. Get up to a heavy single, then back down, just do one working set with a bit more reps. Billy McBilly, sneed it up. I don't know the word sneed. Billy, I never understand you these days. M28, what do you do for CNS recovery? CNS recovery is just like, it's more about managing it, you know. People often, I'm not saying you, but people often have a bit of binary thinking or something. It's like, oh, well, now it's time to do the CNS recovery or something. It's like just about managing it. Like, I just trying to think of it. Like, obviously, just calming down, doing things that calm you down is one of the best things. Like, get out of a sympathetic nervous system state where there's no longer time. Whatever calms you down, you know. It can be meditation, it can be walk in the nature, even just slowing down a little bit, like I'm doing now. See, I feel calmer already. I'm entering more of a parasympathetic state. No, but other than, you know, doing things to wind down and sleeping and eating well and that, it's about managing it, you know. That's the thing about like rest days. Like how many days per week do you train, Theo? And how long are your workouts? How many sets, how many reps? Well, I kind of auto-regulate it because I know my body so well that I rarely have to take like, oh, I have to take complete rest. It's like, oh, I slept poorly. I'm still a bit sore from this. Today I'll cut down the volume, you know. Like on this vacation, I'm having a great time, but I sleep too little. It always happens here. And so my leg workout this morning was quite hard, but it was just leg curls, Bulgarian split squats, and calf raises. And that's a way to manage recovery, if you see what I mean. I don't, if I completely blasted a workout, maybe I wouldn't even have the energy to be here talking to you. Okay, so the rain is calming down, but it's still rain. LCD9. Theo, do you ever do squat sets of 20? They're a fun challenge. I do like 60 pounds. Yeah, I mean, it has happened. You know, do something like a complete Widowmaker set, something that would be like a 10 rep max if we take like any sort of slowdown between reps. As like, okay, you're failing. So you do what you could do 10 fast reps with, and then you rest pause your way to 20. Disgusting. But that's a typical thing I could do if, like, I don't have time today. I have to just do something insane to stimulate quickly. I could do something like that. And so, Pastore, can I ask how long are your workouts? So I just made a little point about that. You'll see that I did a stream, right? It was on the day I left, yeah. I didn't have much time. That stream was 20 minutes, and I did muscle-ups, and I did, at the last muscle-up set, I did a set to like failure of very strict pull-ups, and then I did dips, also sort of strict like L-sit-ish kind of dip to failure. Then I did one set of inverted rows. Then I did a sort of ring fly for the chest, and then I did these ring tucked pull-ups, one set, and I did these like searcher fly kind of things in the rings for the chest. And see, that took me 20 minutes and was a good workout. I was sore in my chest after that. But that's not my typical workout. But you see, that was an extreme case of getting it done in 20 minutes. While when I'm bulking, I would say, because I will also sometimes spend some time in the gym talking to people, you know. I know people in my gym. But if we take the actual workout time, you at least an hour usually, because if I'm bulking, really, now I'm pushing progress. I really want to take time to recover properly between the sets and stuff. Like the push workout, I can definitely get done in an hour. Pull workout, maybe slightly longer. Some leg workouts, quite a bit longer. Like I will even, on Saturdays, I'll be like, I'm gonna take a lot of time. I'm gonna even take 2 hours to make sure I just can, like blast deadlifts, for instance, and then recover properly. And then do pendulum squat sets that are all very intense. So I have to rest quite a bit between them. Then I still have more exercises. So you see, all these questions for someone like me, that's both quite advanced, but like lives it both as in, I love this. I would do a lot of this even if I didn't work with it, but I also do work with it. You see, all these things makes it so that just asking me, how long are your workouts? It's like, there's not a one, I have to answer like this if I'm not to tell you what it's actually like. Like, if you haven't already, guys, maybe super chat if you appreciate the stream. Archrock and Candle, LCD9, try sets of 50 or 100 reps. It blew up my legs. 10 and 20 reps are useless in comparison for lower body. Like, I always wish I could see you guys when you say things like this. Because I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just like, you know, I've seen too many times when someone describes something that they did in great detail, and it's like, it really changed things for me. And then later, they told me something, and I'm like, but bro, you're like super small, you know. Don't tell people too much what to do unless you have the results to actually show for it. So I don't know about you, but I'm saying I always get curious. Just a quick one, Mike Hunt, do you read? If so, what types of books? Not really, not a big fan. You know, it's been a major point, a thing I like to troll a bit about that. It's a waste of time to read. I just go do stuff instead. I still think a lot of people put books on a pedestal. It's about learning and applying it. If that happens from a book, from a video or audio, from another, you know, that's my thing at this point. My favorite way of learning things is talking to other individuals, right? Because if I really need to specialize on something, then maybe I do some research, whether that's a book or something else. But so much it's just like fine-tuning little details of things, and then it's often talking to individuals that are on a high level on things. So my podcast, for instance, apart from from the audience. Many of those episodes have been great for me to get to talk to some of these individuals. And by the way, I intend on picking up the podcast again, probably in August. You know, a break happened naturally because there was some rescheduling with some guests I was supposed to have, and when it was delayed, and I was a bit burnt out, like not as in literally, but you know, I didn't have as much energy then as now. And when things turn out like that, well, I'll just go on a break, bring it back later. And I have some guests, some pretty cool guests that I know would come on. So, see, someone sent a little super chat here. It's like 6 Swedish crowns in Czech. Is it like Czech? I don't know what CZK is. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Robert Wood. Have you got a preference for neck extensions? I find them awkward even with a harness. Maybe I should buy a more expensive or padded one. I have a great preference for it. Use a cable. You probably are using weights, right? Especially if you have a big weight plate. It is awkward because you know, it's gonna be rocking back and forth. It's not pulling so much straight down. So if I do it with weight, I prefer a kettlebell most of the time because it will hang lower, would pull more straight down and not be rocking in place like this. But a cable is amazing. I've barely done weights since I started doing the cable. Could alternate them, of course, but it's a better resistance curve. There's no rocking. So yeah, and you will find, if you look at my channel, search for neck, you will find me doing those. And even with the instruction in some videos. Here rain is calming down. Not quite enough to just walk out with a camera in the open. You know, at first, before I knew it was going to be raining, I was going to just go to a park and sit down by a table. Can't really do that now because everything is going to be all wet. Try 50 bodyweight squats today, LCD9 says. You know, when I started training at home, and I actually remembered because you said that, before I found out, like we're talking at the very start of my training journey, right? Before I found out about the Bulgarian split squat, because I had some adjustable dumbbells, but I could put 16 kilos on one at most, I know. And I would do like sets of 50 and more of squats with this. It's disgusting. And I remember thinking, oh, I can't wait to go to the gym so I can just use more weight, not do so many reps. I'll say though, because I went on that tangent, like I'd like to see someone that says a thing like that, do 50 or 100 reps. I'd say if there's anything I believe giga high reps works well for, it's the legs. Just look at Tom Platz. But I wouldn't say that lower reps are just bad because of that though. Torture room, manual or automatic? Do you mean for car? I don't drive much. I took my driver's license quite late, but I drive with a stick. I have that on my driver's license, so. But I should probably, you know, because I don't drive much, I should probably make it as easy for myself as possible. Just get an automatic car with all the cameras helping you out and stuff. Oh, there's the thunder. Do you hear it? My dad, so other old men who just walked by respectfully, didn't say anything. Okay, I'm sure what you're talking about there. Yeah, you're talking about the leg training. Yeah, I'll keep that for you guys. Robert, would you drink coffee, and if so, what's your favorite brewing method? I love instant coffee. I do drink coffee. Like, it's like I shouldn't, you know, but I feel like I talk so much about myself, and that's something that people, you know, attack me for, or think I'm super self-centered and stuff. But then I get questions about a thing like that. I feel like I talk so much about my relationship to coffee and nicotine snus, right? But yeah, I've cut down. I used to drink way too much coffee, use way too much snus. I cut down, so I consume 25% of what I used to, and I've kept that this entire year. But I love instant coffee. Yeah, I just do, and I buy, like, I don't remember what the brand is called now, but I buy one that's, you know, a higher quality one. but it's not even because of the convenience factor. I just really like the way it tastes. You know, I've seen, you know, this meme with the bell curve. It's like in the middle, someone's like, no, you need to have do a cappuccino in this kind of machine, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, the dumb guy and the high IQ guy wrote like, instant coffee is good or something, you know. Rasta Jilik. You sent the little super chat there, right? Please, if you like the stream, guys, you can show some support with another one. Hi, Theo. Have you ever been bullied at school when you were a boy? Naturally, you don't have to answer. Thanks for your videos, bro. I mean, of course I'll answer. I'll tell you everything about my, like, as good as everything, right? And what I usually say is that I don't want to invade on other people's privacy by, or you know, what they would like to keep to themselves by talking about things with me, involving them, because, you know, people that know me in real life watch this channel too. When it comes to me, there's like nothing that I can think of that I would be like, I don't want to talk about that. Bullying, like not the purest form of bullying, as you're actually like, oh, see, here's my bullies, they're gonna come mess with me right now, you know. But in kindergarten, they call me chubby, actually. There was some guys that, kommer du ihåg det, pappa? Knubbis.
Nej, det kommer inte jag ihåg, men du var lite
Ja, jo, men
modern.
ja, men det var några, Gustav Larsson och några. Yeah, they chased me and called me chubby. And not as the adjective, that's like hey chubby, hey chubby. And I remember feeling like, that's what the only time I like, oh, these guys, they're gonna torment me, you know. But, so that's funny, right? I was actually a little like chubby round in my face and stuff, because I have such a big head also. And that doesn't show as much when you're an adult, but when it looks like I have this big head and a little round face, you know. But then I'd say not so much bullying, and not so much in like, how do you call that? Like when you're like 6 through 12 in school, I would say I was actually, especially when I started a new school, when I was like 9, 10, 11, 12, I was more of a cool guy in my class, right? And then I've always been in this weird position when I've been like a cool kid in one sense that, you know, I knew some of the other cool kids and I went to parties and stuff. But I felt a lot in groups that, not bullied, but a little, oh, that's a generous super chat. I'm gonna get straight to that. There are two. I appreciate it, guys, but just finish the thought about the bullying, and then I'll take these and I'll get to the other stuff. Thanks a lot, guys. No, but so you see, never bullying, but I felt like frozen out. And you know, being a recovering people pleaser, that's really done a good job at that now. But people could like sense that. I'll take an example. In one friend group, these people, they weren't friends, I know now, but they would, you know, if you have some kind of resource, if you have like money, they'll be, oh, can you lend me for this or something, you know? But bro, you never give anything to me, and it's like, and they know that they can, because I want to say yes, right? And they knew they can kind of manipulate me by being like, okay, I look all sad and stuff, and I feel like I have to do something, and still being a person, I felt like I was there for people like that. Suddenly something could happen when I felt like left out. Like, why didn't you guys tell me about that thing going on? So you see, a bit of actual that kind of classic bullying in kindergarten, and then just these things. There's not straight up bullying, but there's some kind of like poor treatment of you, and it's personal about you, right? So yeah, like bullying like that. Okay, let's get to the very generous super chat. DMMD Wrestler, 49.99, $50. Really appreciate it, man. Hi, Theo. Any required reading for the modern man? I appreciate your thoughts. Thanks. Well, I wish you didn't ask me that question, because I you know, I've just gone on this, like search my channel for books, and you will find one old video where I also know that when I did it, I was a little like scatterbrained, but it's called like why reading books is dumb and a waste of time or something. So and it's of course hyperbolic, and then as always there's a lot of people that because they really identify with it, you know, I'm so smart because I read a lot of books. They get all butthurt by the title, respond to the title, and don't listen to what I actually say in the video. But my point is that just that people often put books on a pedestal, as there's something like so special about books, but it's about learning, right? It's about learning things and integrating them into your life, taking action on what you learn, and then whatever medium you learn through, it doesn't matter. Can I remove this now? I think the rain is now. These planks are enough. Nobody's medium. Well, if it's a book or something, the one thing I'll say about books is that, of course, it requires. It can be sort of seen as a little practice. Just reading generally, a little practice in actually having to focus and pay attention and actively take in information and not just pass like you guys are now just watching me. I don't think there's something wrong with consuming passively. But I say that would be the thing that is different really with books. But I haven't read that many books. The one I was supposed to read more books this year just to make a thing out of it. I only ended up reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and I thought it was great. I've always felt when I've seen quotes from him that specific guy, other Stoic quotes that I like, of course, but like I really seem to like this guy. I really do like Marcus Aurelius. But yeah, there's no required reading, you see. If there's something that's required, well, it is. You know what I think is required of the modern man? It's what I say, getting ripped. And it might seem ridiculous, but it's like getting into that shape. All the knowledge you have to get, and all the habits and traits you have to cultivate in acquiring a ripped physique. When you have that result, there's going to be a lot more that's happened to you than just like, oh, you look ripped, right? So it's more than certain books that are mandatory to read or something, like get in that kind of shape. And I would say in general, because it's going to be a bit individual, but face your fears, fear of judgment, put yourself in situations that you're uncomfortable in, like actually afraid of. Like this was not a big one, but that I'm like, okay, it's raining. It's like raining like hell. Cool. I'll actually go out in the rain to record, even though I don't really have to, just to make it's not entirely comfortable. What you notice when you've done that, I started going on all these tangents now, but what you notice when you do a thing like that is how weak and comfortable most people are. When you just faced and done so many things, that you don't even think about it. And like I'll give you the last example before I move on. Today I was at this marketplace, and there was a stand. They're selling burgers of like decent quality. The meat was good, right? So they didn't have the best bread, but I'm like, okay, I'll take a triple burger and no dressing, some cheese, and some pickles on it, right? And then there's these kids with their dad, with all these rednecks there, and I don't want to be like derogatory, but this marketplace really pulls in visitors from all over this island that are kind of countryside people, and they really look like redneck hillbilly kinds of people I never see at home. And so this guy is with his three kids, sons. They're all a little chubby, and they get burgers. And then I go to order mine. And then as I'm waiting for it, this dad comes back and they're like, oh, excuse me, it wasn't quite finished, I see the burger. I see it's a little bit of pink inside. I mean, like, first of all, you don't want it like that. But you see, these kids, they cannot eat the burger that's just a little bit pink inside. They have to go return it. It's like, what happened to human beings? We're supposed to be like the peak species on this planet, and it's like, no, I can't eat it. It's not well done enough. And that's just one example, So you see, to give you, to pay attention to your big and generous super chat there when you happen to ask something, and that is like not the best question for me. I go on these tangents. So to summarize, get in this sort of shape, because lots of other stuff happened to you in the process, and face fears. Put yourself in uncomfortable positions. Your growth is always on the other side of discomfort. Thanks again for a very generous super chat. There was one more. I wish for wings. How did you cut down on smoking? Improper E on cardio. Started yesterday and began swimming. Could only swim for 15 minutes straight before tiring. Improper E. I don't know what improper E is. But I cut down on smoking. I've never been a regular smoker, okay? I've been a user of snus, and I still am, which of course doesn't really impact your cardio. But smoking, it was just something I did as a party thing, you know, smoke cigarettes while you get drunk. And I smoked weed and mixed it with tobacco, right? I mean, the weed has come and went a little bit even through the years with Uncommon Sense, you know. But I've never been addicted to like the smoking aspect, if you see what I mean. So I don't really have a strategy to tell you there. But other than that, if you quit, it's just to stick with it. It's gonna get improve. And if you train, it's like find your limit, you know. Just because it was tough after 15 minutes, well, that was probably enough to get some kind of adaptation, right? And then you just progressively overload. It's always like that. You progressively underload things you want to get rid of, you can do, and then you progressive overload the new thing. And that's the thing. People always, you know, treat the thing like that. Oh, I tried cardio yesterday. It was difficult. You know, I was tired after 15 minutes. Like, well, what did you expect? You know, you've been smoking and now you're starting to train. Did you think it was going to feel great immediately? That's the point. You have to do it more now to feel better. Yeah, so just keep going. That's the thing. If people could just realize that wherever you are right now, no matter how poorly you're doing with something right now, if you just keep doing it and add this much every time, this much 100 times, and now we're suddenly talking about this much, you see? It's like me now, when I'm answering these questions about how much I train, and I train every day, as many times more, just extra movement, just because I want to, you know. I started literally with doing negative pull-ups, 5 sets, because it was in a program, and 3 of them were like hard, 3 times per week. That's where I started, you see? And my question then is not like, oh, it was tough, you know. Like, how did you get better? Because when I started training, it was difficult for me. Well, I did get better by continuing to do it and progressively overload. That's the answer. But thank you for the super chat, you too, man. Gotta get back to some of the other stuff. I'll see, I have time to stick around for some time now. Maybe we'll go on a little walk. I mean, we have 30 people here now. Got a good stream going, even at this time. So, because now I feel like I'm making some people are very respectful to me with moving around my camera here. So I feel like I should move to different location. If I can find some questions. Yeah, because I guess I don't. Let me see, actually, really quick, if it's actually raining. Well, it's barely raining. So I bring the umbrella, but I don't have to use it. No, yeah, guys, if you like these streams, you can support with a super chat, but also I'll tell you that now, especially when I'm this sort of mode and the setting I'm in now, I'll almost every day, there's going to be some days when I can't stream, but I'll try to find a gap to do the spontaneous stream like this. But tomorrow specifically, we're going to have like official one. I'm going to, after this stream, schedule one for 4 p.m. Swedish time. So just so you know what that is, it's almost 3 p.m. Swedish time now. We'll just start it a little later to let some Americans get up. Some more Americans get up. Let's sleep in. Drowsy little people. Okay, I'll just bring up some question to work with on my way to a different location. LCD9, I decided I don't need to be social for the sake of being social. It's probably not the best for mental health, but if it causes more problems, who cares? This is probably bad advice. I have a lot to say about that. You should go, right now, because I'm going to have to go back to other stuff, but if you want to know something, what I think about that, and what I've seen with myself with that, is go to my video, with a 1-hour video with my 7-year transformation, right? I talk about hyper-independence, and my thing is sort of, it's better to be alone than with the wrong people, but that's also often you find people with a hyper-independence trait find justifications for sticking to themselves when it's actually not good for them anymore, including this guy, right? So there's a balance. Like, don't be with people just for the sake of it if they actually don't make you feel good, you know, but maybe go out of your way to try to be social, maintain the relationships you have, take initiative, pick up some new hobbies and stuff. Let me get something good to work with, and then I'll actually go. Like go walk. I'll stick around on the stream. You see the battery. Okay. Do I have a power bank on me? No. Because I should bring that. Let me see if this doesn't die. Do I have it here? See guys, all of this now, I'm fixing everything and I'm streaming and talking to you guys. These are things sometimes that I think are so hard to get across in content, that the ways I've leveled up, but not only just that I've leveled up, that you can level up. It's like on the golf course yesterday, I just feel like I'm so on top of things, apart from I had a good round, but I keep track of everything, and in a way that I just didn't before, you know. It's hard to put into words, but being focused, knowing when it's someone else's turn, spotting what people's balls are and other things. Like, you just become such an efficient machine. Now there are kids here. Gonna have to run. I thought, hey Valdemar. My nephew. Oh, there he is. Awesome. Let me see. Give something here. Not something to work with. Music most man. You work out every day, take one day off, do any cardio, some too. It's really important for improving cardiorespiratory fitness. It isn't really if you work out high intensity workouts, hypertrophy like I do. I take one day off, yeah, I take randomly, like I played golf yesterday, then I had planned my training, so I didn't have to train yesterday. But it's like, I've already talked about that on this stream. Hi Sumbel, I'm broke as fuck right now, but the value you've given me, I'll hit you up someday and we'll engage more. Well, I appreciate it, man. Of course, I just have to remind the people of the option, but I know everyone can't support, like you support on your level. Just talking in the chat and stuff is a form of support. So, okay, now I know where I'm at in the chat. LCD9, Theo, do you track electrolytes intake in food, such as potassium? No, I don't track it. I just love electrolytes. That's the thing, guys. These things are so hard. I'm so intuitive. I can tell when I need electrolytes. Like on the golf course, I brought all these patches. Like I want to show you now because I probably have some in my backpack here. I can just sense when I need electrolytes. This is the thing with the modern world. The human body is really amazing at just telling you what you need. But all the shitty lifestyles, the stuff corrupted us. Yeah, we lose this natural ability that we have. So I don't have to. I guess I don't have to show. I guess you'll believe me that, that I have the electrolytes. But it's like I want to just make a point out of it that I'm big on the electrolytes. But yeah, I don't track them. I just sense when I need them. So on the golf course, I had brought patches, orange juice. What I often do, 50-50 orange juice and electrolytes with orange taste, and like water with that. So, you know, to make it less sweet. But I have some sugar for me, carbs. That's also important for hydration, especially when you're really lean. Yeah. Like fat people don't need excuses to get extra calories, really. You already carry a lot of water on you. So you just need electrolytes. But I think these are 800 milligrams sodium, 400 milligram potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. I just drink by feel, you know. That's the thing, guys. All these things, by tracking things, that's a tool for when you still cannot do it intuitively. But I don't really, the only thing I track is my training, because that I might need, especially when you're more advanced, to like make sure I know what I'm trying to beat. But everything else, I kind of just keep track of. Let's actually go somewhere now. I always get stuck. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna find something to talk about while I go, and then I get so into it. Okay, it's like the smallest hint of rain. at least bring the umbrella for safety. I wish I could keep the chat, like pin the chat so it's open. No, I get that when I was in there. Did you hear what I said about the electrolytes? I hope you did, as I knew it wasn't going to be so good inside. Adam Jassar. Hey, I remember you. You have not been around for a long time. I take life so seriously I'm always in my own head. Do you have advice on any books to read to work on this? If there's something that should be clear, I know you didn't come in for this, so I'm just expressing myself now. It's not personal against you. But if something should be clear from what I'm telling you, it's like another book is not what you need. You don't need more shit to think about, okay? You take action. Just do stuff, you know. Don't think so much about it. Just do it, okay? That's the best advice I can give you. Like, not even go on for it so long, to make it really clear. You don't need any books. There was the electrolyte thing. Tyson Bell, we gotta get Theo on the Huberman podcast about how bro science make the same conclusion as head science through trial and error. Well, I'm not really a big fan of Huberman, but of course, if I got on the podcast, I would go. I'll give all the parents and their kids a break from me. How am I talking now? There's just a little bit of rain, but that should make it easier at least to find a decent location. I just wish I could pin the chat. Well, I always know what would make apps like better, but I don't have the knowledge or how to program. I've thought about that many times. If I was into like, of course I could learn to program like code if I really, really wanted to. But I've always thought I'm the guy with the vision, the idea. Like I understand what the user would want in an app, and I could tell the programmer to do that, you know. And that's always kind of been my role in different groups, to, like in school. Very often, that's how I now backtrack when I realize I'm sort of a leader kind of person. That in group assignments that I didn't even care about in school, where everyone is sitting like, well, how should we do? And I would just, even though I cared probably the least about the whole project, I would just think out loud about like, you know, we could do something like this, and everyone would be like, yeah, let's do that. And so my role was often just to come up with what we were doing. And then like, you know, the ambitious girls, the group, they would write it all down and stuff. Oh yeah, the market is still open, I guess. Should go in there just to, you know, it's funny. I've made these videos recently, you know, how people treat you when you're ripped and stuff. Being in these kinds of places, it's like I always feel like I'm in not an amusement park, because that would mean that people would like ride me or something. But what should I say? Well, people stare at me is the point. Now I'm in the mode where I can feel like, because I tell you, the stealth stream, sometimes I kind of want to hide. Sometimes I find it quite funny, amusing. What the fuck? Now sometimes this happens. Now the chat is like gone. It never comes up. That's why I'm just talking random crap. I'll have the umbrella on my head like a Chad, like someone suggested. Oh, is this another super chat from the same guy, the MMA wrestler? Training 4 days of MMA/calisthenics. That's great. I get a super chat, so I have something clear to prioritize when I go. Then lift only Saturday and Sunday. Advice on the weekends. Let me see here. I'm training 4 days of MMA/calisthenics, then lift only Saturday and Sunday. Advice for the weekends. I'm sorry, but it's like I'm not quite understanding it. 4 days MMA calisthenics, lift only Saturday and Sunday. Any advice for the weekends? You said you lift on those days. I mean, I'm not quite sure what you mean. Like, do you like go do an upper body gym session on the Saturday and like a lower session on the Sunday? I mean, my only thing with all of that is like, what I'm thinking about when you say it is just like, when you do different kinds of training like that, like the way you structure it on the week as a whole, for you know, for one type of training to impact another one the least is important, you know. So I would tend to, it's hard because I don't know exactly what you do, of course, but can I come up with some example to compare it with? It's like hard, but you know, you have to see the pattern of like, when I train this, like I might get sore here, or that might impede my performance in this sort of way. So ideally, I don't want to do this sort of workout before this sort of workout. However, this other kind of workout, there's not really as much overlap. So these I can put back to back. You see what I mean? Like, it's like I always want, when it's a super chat, to give a good answer, but I'm not quite sure about the situation there. So with what I have in the super chat there to work with, I would say, you know, make sure you just structure your training sessions in the best way for the least amount of overlap between workouts that are close together, like close, how do you say, close to each other, you know, in a row. See, here's this old marketplace. I guess I up not going and taking a bunch of attention there. Like, is the thing now the opposite of what I'd like. Well, now the chat doesn't even jump up, you know. DMM wrestler, can I grow only if I only lift Sat and Sun? Okay, but you said you did calisthenics on the MMA. I guess I don't know what you mean with calisthenics. Okay, so because in my head, calisthenics, if I say I do calisthenics, it's still like a gym workout, do you understand? Still a hard workout that would stimulate muscle growth. So if you say it like that, I mean, if that's what you mean, that those are like actual hypertrophy sessions that you train intensely on, I think you would do a lot better to spread them out more. Put them more like on a Wednesday and a Saturday, or on a Thursday and a Sunday, for example. You know, because it's this with frequency, volume, intensity, right? If you train 2 days there, probably like upper, lower or something, you train everything once in a week, and then you go 5 days when you don't really train it. But if you spread them out to 2 full body workouts, now you train everything twice with good time to recover in between them. So that would be a lot more ideal. I hope that answers your question. I've really gotten this, like, I'm complaining that the chat comes and goes and I would like it to stay up. I really, for whatever reason, I'm telling you, it's so buggy with the streaming. I've got an exact opposite situation, that it doesn't go up and I don't have my hands free. Try to find a little place. A place. Let's see if we can find a place. I mean, it is raining, but just not so much now. I guess I'll try, see what I think about pulling the umbrella down. This is what I mean, guys. Like, not that I'm doing this very smoothly now, but it's like, you just, when you work with yourself enough, now, just because I made a point, this fucking umbrella button got stuck. I was gonna make the point that you're just smooth with things, but okay, there we go. I guess I misunderstood this umbrella. I never used it before. Found it around the house. Okay. My calisthenics are burpees, star jumps, bear crawls, walking lunges, long jumps. Okay. I wouldn't call that calisthenics, you know. I don't really know what I would call it. Is it more like, almost like plyometrics? No, but those things, of course, they don't really stimulate muscle unless you're like a complete muscle growth, unless you're like a complete beginner. So yeah, man, I think the same thing goes. I would try to, you know, if you want to grow muscle and get stronger, I would, instead of just doing them on the weekends, I would spread them out more. so you hit everything twice, like that. No more nuts. It's like, man, you know, I want to appreciate everyone that's on the stream and talking, and it's not, you know, a troll asshole, but you're spamming questions and you've already, like, given the impression that you're kind of lazy with taking action on things. So it's like, don't just watch someone like me for entertainment or feeling like dopamine. That, see, I'm getting answers to all these questions from Theo. I have to be supplement to doing the shit, which you've given me the impression that you don't really do much. So, see, I tell you what you need to hear, not just responding to all your questions like ChatGPT. Let's see. Guten Tag, Miahi. What's up with the German? Yeah, why? I know people will not eat steak with any pink in it. Yeah, we call those homosexuals. I'm kidding. But you know, we call them pussies. It's like the modern person is so fucking weak. And that's, I think it's David Goggins that says, right? It's so easy to be like excellent or whatever word he uses. If you just like get in decent shape, get a little bit more comfortable with doing some things that people think are uncomfortable, like a cold shower, eating food just for utility and not, oh, it has to taste good. No, I don't like the consistency of this. Oh, no, it's a little too pink. That was kind of interesting when I was staying with a client recently. You know, he did really well with everything. Like, he did many of the things that he is not as used to and feels more uncomfortable with. So I'm absolutely not shit-talking him that he was a pussy. But I get to notice some things that I've just gotten so used to doing that I don't even think twice about it, you know. And it just gives you the perspective. Peter Renfors, you don't need caffeine, creatine, electrolytes, or anything. Our ancestors had none of those. It's not so much about needing. I mean, you do need electrolytes. It's just that you don't really have to take them separately like that. But that's the thing. This you will always hear me repeat this, that it's about balance and a non-dual perspective. We don't. There are many things in the modern world we don't need. There are, however, some things that can be helpful. There's a reason that we're trying to evolve, you know, move society forward. But like I said on yesterday's stream, I think it was on yesterday's stream, now it's very imbalanced, you know. Many of the shit, a lot of the shit that we made is not really good for us. It's not really serving the purpose of human beings thriving. It's more about, you know, making the capitalist machine be as productive as possible. Make every little human being into a good little robot that just follows what they're supposed to do for a greater cause. But you see what I mean? Creatine, yeah, we don't need it, we don't have to take it, but with a thing like creatine, everything indicates that. Why would you not take it though? It's like good. It's like, if you don't want to, I won't make a big deal of it. But it's like me, who's not, you know, I'm a bit of a nerd that I'm interested in if a supplement can do something for me, but it's still never, because I know it's always the fundamentals, right, that are the most important. But a thing like creatine, I'm just like, why should I not take it? It's something that occurs naturally in food, and now I can just get a natural amount a little bit and get a little boost from that. That just benefits. There seems to be no cost. Why wouldn't I take it? That's how I think of it. Then you have something like steroids, where it's like, no, the price is just way too high. That's not worth it. But yeah, we don't need a phone. We don't need a stream. We don't need a gym. You can lift rocks. Can go on with this to make the point. How, you see what I mean? It's good. The less you need, the better off you are. But it's not about just rejecting everything, right? Beam Rider 100 creatine. There was a kidney scare with that. No, I think that's been more with protein. I mean, yeah, I guess with creatinine levels can look high when you go do tests if you take a lot of creatine. Yeah, see Golden One and Thor and stuff here. Now, guys, if you want me to prioritize your message, you should send a super chat, because now there's really a lot to go through here. Let's try this for a little bit now. Now there's actually no rain. Let me just actually, you know, put this umbrella together. So, like this. No, but now, this is what I mean. We're talking about the being uncomfortable thing. I think many people wouldn't be so relaxed just doing what I'm doing right now. Just being out streaming in the rain, fixing with my umbrella, talking to you. And it's just because of installing a lot of bad programs. Mainly that, actually, because I'm not doing anything that's so difficult now. But you see, a lot of people would be way too comfortable to you know, they would just be all like, oh, I'm getting wet, and all this, or what about my phone, and right? This kind of result, what I'm trying to talk to you about, because it's not this specifically, like in general, to just not be so bothered by things, just be resilient, you know, just be fucking able to do things. Now, always when I speak about this, then I end up not understanding how the fucking umbrella works. Come on. But you see, even if I don't figure that out, the point, you see what I mean? The point is, it's like, I have no issue with anything going on here. No one else would go out and do this. And it just comes from facing a lot of discomfort, getting very comfortable in general, in like any situation. Let's see. Wow, there's really a lot now. Adam just said, what did I even write down? Just feel so anxious around people. It's like almost always awkward, and I hate it because I hate to be antisocial. Well, you know, I hate to be the guy to shill coaching in your face when you're expressing yourself here, but it's really, your issue is like deeper. You're an overthinker, and you worry about a bunch of things, and you're like, what do I even start? You're thinking about, if I write, where do I even start? Just start. That's the point. Stop thinking so fucking much and take action. And then if you work with someone like me, I would help you a lot to figure out what's up. I would find good little actual actions. I would help you more directly, you know, to work on a thing like that. Get out of your shell and stop being in your head so fucking much and get into your body. And this you can do by yourself. But here, right now, that's like what I can tell you. I can tell, because you know, guys, when I say things like this, do you know how I know? Because I am the same. I've been the same. I can still fall into those kinds of patterns and behaviors at times. Just I now have all this knowledge, so it's easier for me to handle with it and get out of again. But all these things like perfectionist mindset, you know, being an all or nothing kind of person, being an overthinker, just sitting and analyzing what you should do. Should I do this and that? Or what book should I read? What is the external thing? What is the thing that is not me that I need to look into? And I'm telling you, in this case, take action. If someone told you, because you said, what do I even write down? I guess someone told you to journal. Stop thinking about it. Just let it come out. I don't know what to write. I just feel so shitty all the time. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be like this, but you know, it just make it start come out. Stop thinking, start doing, okay? No, we're not. How much for 1 hour consult? Well, for just the one-off consultation right now, it's $197, and I record a Zoom call, or you can record it if you want to, so you can keep it afterwards. And then actually, to people who do consultation, I always tell them that if you'd like to go on my elite program, when we have this sort of call on a weekly basis, I'll give you this, the 197 you paid. I'll reduce that from the 1999 for 3 months on the other program. So it's like more like $1,800. I got poor battery now, but I do. Anas Alam, do you have a good body fat visual assessment? I mean, I probably do more than most, but I also care less than most. These fucking things that aren't even, you know, there's no accurate way of measuring it. We don't have an exact way of measuring it. And it doesn't really matter. It just does not matter, you know. Like, I don't know what my body fat is right now, but I have abs and I have veins and I have muscles, and I don't give a shit what the number someone could make up is, you know. Do you know what I'll say? The best use for a body fat percentage number is if I'm trying to describe a look to you, but I don't have a picture to show. Like this guy, he's around, 18 to 20% body fat or something. But the thing is, of course, people don't have a good idea of it. I notice it all the time because people think they have lower body fat than they actually do all the time. People think they have less fat to lose than they have all the time. Yeah, it's like the majority of people get it wrong. Like when someone says they have 15% body fat, I'm like, so probably close to 20. No more nuts said, if you limit yourself to 4x snooze per day, then good, but you just end up more. No, that's what you do, you know. You didn't say this to me, I see, but you know. Tyson Bell, Theo, I used to smoke cigars and was addicted. Is the snus nicotine worth the health benefits? Would you recommend it to someone trying to steer away from vices? I mean, if it could replace smoking, it's a better option. But what I always say, like, you know, I'll tell you this as a more holistic answer to this question. You know, no one is perfect. The vices we have are different attempts at dealing with life, you know, different degrees of pain. And sometimes the pain is just that in our environment we're exposed to certain things that we got hooked on, you know. So they may have caused some damage to us, but also now that it's even a thing that we've had a relationship to now, you know, that's the harm in and of itself, if you see what I mean. Because what happens with a lot is if you reduce pain, and when I say pain, it's an inclusive word. It's boredom. It's you know, you see boredom, discomfort is not always just like, oh, I'm feeling so crap, like this, you know, everything hurts. But, you know, when you manage to reduce your pain, naturally you want to lean on vices less. But then you'll have your weak points and you'll have some things. And it's never about like, oh no, you have to clean it all out, every single thing. You're supposed to be God now, a God on earth, God incarnated, not a single vice. I'm supposed to look at the facts about you and see 100% perfect man, because no one is like that. It's always about leveling up. That's, you know, being in a state of progression. So someone that never used nicotine, I would never recommend that you go and use snus. But if you're someone that uses smoking, cigarettes, and you can transition to snus, well, it's like, yeah, that's a clear upgrade. And for me, you know, clearly I do really well with my regimen as a whole, and I could quit at this point. I'm pretty sure I could quit snus and caffeine, but they are actually choices because that's another aspect of health, you know. Like, is it really just like being like ascetic, like not allowing yourself any single thing that you just kind of enjoy, you know? No, it's about balance, as always. You decide what's okay to do in the end. So in my case, I've decided that, yeah, I like snus and caffeine enough. I don't see that they cause me enough problems. Now, especially now that I've reduced the consumption so much. So I'll keep them in. So I hope that whole tangent gives you an idea. Like, if you're a smoker, like, you can go on them, go on it, but why take it up if it's not something you're even involved with now? Torture room. It's like you're trying too hard to be funny with your stuff. I'm sure you're a nice guy, you know, but I've seen you, you know, being the little comedian in the chat now. Yeah, I see Adam Jasser that you're analyzing what's wrong with you. You're in a constant state of self-analysis, right? It's a terrible place to be in, and you are not gonna think yourself out of that problem. Okay, more thinking does not solve the problem of overthinking. Overthinking and under-actioning. You need to take action. Tar Aldarion, do you like video games? I am working on a Zelda-like indie game with some friends and it's real fun. Understand not having time for that anymore. I mean, I do like video games. They were, Zelda in particular, a big part of my childhood. And it's like with what I just said about the snooze and stuff. It's like, if you do it, if you think it's something you want to do, and you do it at a reasonable level, and you're actually honest with yourself, you don't justify just being like, really, you know, sitting for hours and hours and hours on end, playing video games way too often, you know. I don't see any issue with playing some video games. In my case, it's just been the case that I'm so about realness and real life that even if I have some fond memories and feelings around many video games, I often use video game music in like content I do, like stories on Instagram and stuff. Still, I barely can bring myself to enjoy the games, even if I try to. I got Metal Gear Solid 3. I played 1 and 2. I always liked them, but I never had the consoles to play the ones beyond that. I just noticed, because I happen to have a Switch, Nintendo Switch that I not use much. Like, oh, there's a port of Metal Gear Solid 3. I actually feel a bit excited. Like, I never played that, and I think it's a good game. I start playing. I actually think it's a good game. Still so fast, and I'm so bored by this. I feel like when I've like collected an item and I have to go backtrack to a place, I've been like, it feels like a chore. I'm like, I have to run in this fucking pretend world back again, you know? It's like, it's so apparent. For me, it's like I can't escape the fact that this is not real. It's not even real, you know? That being said, if you like to play a little bit of video games and it's a, you know, a reasonable amount, you're being honest with yourself, something you do on your downtime, and you know, you have your shit together other than that, then it's not really a big deal. See, the sun is almost coming out now. 20 people, 20 likes. I mean, I'll stick around for it. Oh, I should really put the power bank in before I don't have a choice. That was really unfortunate yesterday. I was going to end the stream, and I would have, you know, because I joke about that. I say I'm gonna go, and then I don't. But I was going to just finish the last things and then end the stream when I got to the house. But again, it's so buggy. If I press accidentally the super chat button, which I think is supposed to just collect all the super chats in one place for me, I get kicked out of the stream. It looks like it's still going, but the camera is not on, and I cannot resume it. I cannot get back into it. Well, there we go. There we go. Perfect. See? So prepared with a little power bank in my pocket now. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail, guys. You know that, right? No, more not. I kind of want Nintendo Switch 2 and Mario Kart World. You know, you seem like a nice guy, but I think more video games is probably not what you need. Fringhello Minorte, a little bit of drinking is fine. Yeah, but that's an example. I've made that example. Drinking is something I really... There would be other substances that would be more interesting for me to indulge in, you know, the one-off time. But alcohol, for me, it's like the return on investment is so bad, you know. I pay way too high of a price on it. Like even on Midsummer now, I will, just because of the entire culinary experience, you know, we eat the herring and the potatoes and have some schnapps with it, you know, and I will usually, instead of like just downing shot after shot, I will just sip on one shot throughout the, you know, eating. Now I was like, well, I guess I'll have two, you know, I'll just try it, right? And this was early in the day. This is a lunch. Still the next day, it's not like the hangover, like being out partying all night and shit, but I'm just like, man, it's like, I just don't like this, you know. My gut is like affected by it. I have this minor anxiety. I have lower energy from so little, you know. It's just not worth it for me much. That being said, if someone else indulges a bit more than me, but they have a good balance in their own regimen, I'm not the one to judge. But this, you see what I mean? It's always about improving your particular state with all the things, right? Your regimen with all the things. And it's not the same. As I always say, the major patterns and principles are the same for everyone, but the details, not the same. Tyson Bell said, thanks for the reply, Theo and No Nuts. And you know, I'd like to, I know I've missed a bunch of stuff higher up. On course, any quick suggestions on how to get out of victim mentality? I've been trying to shift from victim to creator for a long time, and it has been very difficult. I have a video called Victim versus Victor mindset. And, you know, it's a little bit like the overthinking problem, as in, you're not going to think your way into the right mindset. you just have to go, you have to act as if, right? Because, you know, when I was going through the panic attacks, I felt like a victim. Like, man, you know, okay, I see why, kind of. Haven't been taking good care of myself, but I know guys that do way worse things than me. And definitely are worse people that like deserve, get punished more. Why did this happen to me? Oh, it's so difficult. How will I ever get out of this? But I kept acting as if I could win over it, and eventually I did. And then I actually see that when I went against the most difficult thing ever, that felt like it's not entirely my fault. Not everyone would have to deal with that. You know, I didn't know that that was going to happen from what I was doing, you know. So I'm a victim in that sense. But when okay, what do I do about it now? Let's not think about whose fault it is or anything. This is the hand I've been dealt. How do I play it the best? And I fucking won. I won the tournament, you know. I binked it. And now that's how I approach things. And of course, we can always fall into feeling like a victim in certain situations. Then we have to just just know this stoically and work ourselves back into a victor again, okay? So it's always, so many times, guys, it comes down to just take the actions required. Stop thinking you can figure something out about it. The best you'll get about figuring it out is like, if what I say like resonates with it, it's like, yeah, but you'll still fall into victim mindset later. Feelings, emotions are fleeting. Now it's time to act. Have to go up all the time. I wish there was a system for, you know, knowing where you were in the shadows, staying there. Yeah, I guess, okay, now I actually can't scroll up higher. So, let me see, beard, like Thor. Yeah, I mean, and no more nuts, you've just asked too many things, you know, you need to go take action. Okay, someone gave advice about quitting smoking, and that was the victim mindset. It's the mindset. Yeah, Adam just I need a new personality. That's what I need, lol. It's good to see you. I always tune in and listen when I can. It has been a while, yes. Yeah, you know, the personality, that's what I discovered through the panic attacks too. That so much that I thought was like my personality, it wasn't. It was just coping and defense mechanisms and overcompensations I've picked up in order to try to survive, you know. There is such a thing as your like authentic self. And that would be, I think, you know, if we're talking a bit like more factually, like your untouched genes, you know, when you haven't had to adapt to different traumas, you know, painful, difficult life events. You know, because now, that's what I've said, on the other side of the panic attacks, it felt nostalgic. It felt like being a little kid again, not having gone through taking on all the shitty programming of the world. So, you see, you're always going to run some programs, but you want to uninstall the shitty ones, install ones that serve you, and stay close to the authentic you. But again, that's not something you're going to think your way out of. Yeah. No, but it's good to see you again, man. For sure. Like, you know, and I think you, since you've been around for some time, know that when I start talking a little bit, you stop fucking thinking now and take action. You know what I'm saying that out of care for you. That's what you actually need. Yeah, I was there. Ronald Whitman. Yep, you need willpower and meat. Yeah, pretty much sums it up. DMM wrestler, 2 lifting days. Yes, yeah, you're there. And you asked again, yeah. I think you were, I hope you were happy with the answer in the end. Yeah, that was about the calisthenics. And the cigars. Well, I've gotten a lot of this. Delayed gratification, Suicide Production said. Yes, delayed gratification. You know, when you can learn to enjoy that. I've taken an example with a midsummer again. When I've done an appropriate amount, you know, drink the schnapps, eat the good food, spend time with people, but then just go home on time. I'm like so happy thinking about, oh, I would have felt like shit tomorrow. I would have ruined at least tomorrow, not done shit for no reason. Just be out, get blackout drunk for no reason all night. I'm gonna hit the gym tomorrow. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. You know, but that's what's hard for people before you get into knowing. You actually know. It's not just an idea you have that, oh, I will feel better later if I do this. You've experienced it over and over. Then delayed gratification, in a sense, with some things becomes instant gratification. And when it doesn't, it's just that when you do, say, let's say, when I wake up, in worse, like right now, for instance, I sleep poorly. I'm in a high state, but I feel a little bit like, ugh, when I wake up because I sleep too little. But I just know, though, from experience now, if I get up now, though, I just get moving a little bit and then get to the gym and hit the workout, I'll be feeling a lot better. Still be a little wiped out, drained on energy throughout the day, but just emotionally and everything, I'll feel a lot better. Because I've done that so many times, over and over. Ryan Kamal, what's good, Theo? Hitting my push-ups and watching the stream from Japan. What's good, man? That's a good way. I'd love to be the workout company, you know. Someone is training. Where are we now? Yeah, with the cigars. Delayed gratification. DM wrestler. I'm going to smoke a cigar right now. So glad I was enlightened to the benefits of nicotine. But that's my thing also. There are some benefits and I like it. But I still wouldn't, someone who never used it, I wouldn't tell to get into it. You see what I mean? But it's like, yeah, because it's something I've had. I actually, this might be the location when I had my first snooze ever. Because we would, okay, when I was a more mischievous kid, right? Being bored here with my like peers when we were 14, 15 years old, we would shoplift stuff and especially stuff that we couldn't buy, like, you know, beer and snooze. So there was exactly here actually there was this like bench. We would sit and smoke cigarettes and drink the beer, have the snooze, and yeah, it might have been there, but at least around here there was when I was introduced to that. Yeah, but that was the side note. Just because I've had that and I've had way overused it before, now I managed to end up at a reasonable amount. Still, I think getting into something like that could cause more harm than good for some people. Like, what can I do with this? I don't want to carry it. Hang it right here. Yeah. Hang the umbrella. So maybe we'll end the stream soon. Almost gone 2 hours, and I think running out of shit in the chat. Shit in the chat. That's good chit chat. Yeah. Where are we? And I said, you also, you didn't just ask about the body fat visual assessment. If so, can I send you a pic of my physique? Can you tell me? But was it you? Some guy just sent some pictures of himself to me recently. I didn't say anything. Was that you? But of course you can do it. I mean, but I'm guessing. It's like, you know, whatever you think. It's probably more, but you can try it and see on Instagram. Danny said Tarzan, yeah, a little bit. And let's see, you said also, Annas, about the body fat. I've been cutting for 3 months, lost 9 kg. I really care what percent I'm at, but I want to know so I can get an idea of how close I'm to be. But that is also the thing, the percentage. The question should be, you know, here's me, here's a picture of me. I weigh this, I'm this tall. How much fat do you think I'd have to lose to, for my abs to show? And that's always, not, because if you have enough fat, so there's even not a hint of abs, you can't really tell what your ab muscle bellies are like. And then it's also harder to know. So you see, it's always guesswork. Like me at this point, I've bulked and cut and seen myself on all the different steps. Again, with not knowing the exact percentage, but I sort of always, it's like when I started cutting this year, I was like, it should probably be around 8 kilos for me to get to the level where I'm happy. That ended up being exactly the case. And then I lost even more just because, yeah, I lost like another kilo just because from being so active in the summer. But you see, I could not have known that before going through the stages many times. Let's see. Tyson Bell, curious, do you have vivid dreams? I have dreams that I wake up in my dream and I'm so excited. I explain my dream to someone while I'm still dreaming. That's funny. Yeah, I have quite vivid dreams, actually. But I don't know what more to say about that. You know, I sometimes try to interpret my dreams. Like, what could this have meant? What's the symbolism in this dream? What am I feeling? What is the emotional state the dream put me in? Tyson Bell, I work at a small, nice restaurant in my city. Do you have any ideas of a small Swedish dish that could be served as a bar snack? Bar snack. I started thinking of the stuff I like that probably people would not like in a bar. See, it's almost nice now. Bar snack. I mean, because when I think about what's actual bar snack in Swedish bars, it's not like it's something particularly Swedish when I think of it, like you know, just nuts or something. Like what you know, what I'll say is, it's been quite. It was actually a thing I used to love, was to have like French fries with it's called béarnaise sauce, béarnaise. Of course, they often make the sauce with a chili oil and they fry the French fries in chili oil. But doing something like that, you know, doing tallow fries and having a nice little dipping sauce, could do béarnaise sauce based on something else probably. I mean, I would love that. I would be so happy for a thing like that. Because, you know, it's funny how many things that are like junk food, that the problem is often like the oils used, for instance. And if you use proper fat sources and that, it would be health food actually. And the poison would be more in the dosage that, okay, French fries is still something that would be easy for some people to overeat on and get too many calories. But suddenly it's not that unhealthy of a dish, you know. We got tomatoes on fried toast, beef tostadas, scallion pancakes, shrimp toast, chicken liver roast with chimichurri, tallow, and fries. Sounds great. Yeah, put it in there. Okay, I think we've run out of stuff in the chat. I'll head back. I might as well just have you on cam still, but yeah, maybe if you appreciated the stream, you can hit me up with a super chat. I would appreciate it. Tomorrow there's going to be a more official stream. It's probably going to be at least 2 hours. I mean, if everything goes the way it's supposed to go. But you know, one that I'll schedule. 4 p.m. That's probably around this time now. Yeah, so here in Sweden now, right now, it's 3:43 p.m. So at 4 p.m. I'll schedule a stream for tomorrow. Yeah, so just so it's announced beforehand. And then I probably at the start of the week there will be no streams. Next week I don't think I can, but there's definitely going to be a few more in the week, just like this, like when I can. There's one there. I'll try to go for a trailer run for the stream tomorrow. That's cool, man. You know, guys, right now it's just me and Tyson, and I appreciate you, you know. I think sometimes, like, I run out of steam now a little bit, you know. Like, I'm still in this good state, so I can't talk, but I don't feel like driving it, just pushing out thoughts. You see, I've gotten as the extreme extrovert I am, it's like, well, now I have extracted enough out, so I'm just a little more empty. Thanks for chatting. Proud of you, dude. Tyson. Well, you know, I appreciate that. But being autistic as I am, it's like, why are you proud of me? You know, like, right? Do you understand what I mean? Because you told me that you're 12 days into no weed and back in the gym and stuff. It's like, you don't really have any business being proud of me. I'm the one being proud of you. Ego. No, I appreciate it, man. Nice. You see what I said? If you've been on the entire stream, that the weather is a bit schizo sometimes here. It was like cloudy this morning, then it was sunny, then suddenly it was rain and even thunderstorms, and now this. Tyson Bell, just your total journey and helping us. Yeah, no, I get what you mean, but it's the wording, I guess. You know, the way I see it, you know, the coach is the one being proud of others. Another can be like, I appreciate you, or you inspire me, and thanks for helping us and stuff. But it's like, that's just semantics, and me being a silly perfectionist, like I am at my core, just like people that follow me. We just find better ways of dealing with it. Like now, it is something I notice when you say it, right? But I'm like, I can, instead of being autistic about it, I joke about it, and I know what you mean. I think no one else is talking now. So, no, appreciate you, Tyson. Appreciate, oh, there's a, Anna, is your dad also lean? No, has nothing to do with genetics. Don't even get that into your head. He would be lean if I got to say something about it. The thing is, he listens only to me about training. He's like a stubborn kid with diet. He hates being nagged about stuff. And I try to tell him all the time that, well, you always nag me about things you think I should do, you know. Can't handle it himself. But no, this is not genetic. Don't even think about it, man. I'll tell you this as a final point now. I want to close this down now. You know, I've never been super fat. You said, nah, I'm not connecting it to genetics. Okay, I would just assume with some people that they would. But I still make that point that, because I've told this many times, the first time when I started cutting, when I started my journey, I couldn't, even though, you know, I couldn't get down to as low as now, like not even close. I could get abs. I could be like leaner than most people are, leaner than the average person, but not leaner. And then gradually, by putting on more muscle, understanding how my body works better, and changing my relationship to food with fasting, now I'm at the point where I'm like, I get more ripped in the summer than I even intend. Oh, I actually see some of my family members over there, so I'll go join them. Thank you for the stream today, guys. 4 p.m. tomorrow. So about 24 hours to the next one. I'll see you in that one. Thanks for all the super chatters. Thanks to all the chatters. Thank you, even you silent little people that are too scared to talk. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.